Cord's very long. Last year I went on a vacation out west, and I decided that I was going to do the rim to river and back in the Grand Canyon. So the hike starts out on the South Kaibab Trail. It's a 7-mile hike down to the river. Everything's going swimmingly. It's a very nice day. I make it down. The river's beautiful. I cross the first bridge and I get over to the Phantom Ranch, which is a little campsite they have down there that you can stay overnight. I'm obviously not staying overnight. I'm doing this in one day. So I fill up my water. I kind of take a little bit of a break, and I cross the bridge back to the south side of the canyon. I'm going to hike up the Bright Angel Trail. It's 9 miles back to the rim. So everything's going still pretty good, definitely heating up a little bit. It's the middle of the summer in the Grand Canyon. So I start hiking up the hill. I make it to Indian Garden, which is about 4 miles up. I still have 5 to go. And this is where the wheels on my wagon start to just rattle a little bit. I'm not feeling super great, but I'm not feeling terrible yet. I see a thermometer sitting over in the shade, and I look at it. It's 102 degrees outside. Next to that, not too far away, there's a poster of a guy, and he looks like this. And to paraphrase what it says, don't try to hike from the rim to the river and back in a day. You'll get sick or die. So I'm like, that doesn't really apply to me. I'm going to keep forging onward here. No rest for the weary. So I keep going, and a mile from there, I'm like 4 miles from the rim, shit goes bad. So I'm like not feeling really good at this point, and I'm just death marching to the rim, basically. And I'm trying to find shade and rest wherever I can, but at high noon in the Grand Canyon, that doesn't really exist. So I'm just burning up. And this is the first part where the first time my body betrays me that day. And basically, I can't eat anymore, really. I can't drink anymore. I feel physically sick. And the sun is literally just killing me. Like, I can put on all the sunscreen and it doesn't help. So I forge onward, I death march to the rim, and this is where everything gets really interesting. My first thought is, all right, I need to find some shade, I need to get some rest. So there's some bathrooms across from the trailhead, and there's a nice bench there. So I take off my hat, I take off my shoes, my socks, my pack, everything, and I just lay down. My plan at this point, because I can't really do anything else, is basically to just sleep off the heat exhaustion that I'm feeling right now. And so at that point, I lay down. I don't know how much time has passed. I may have blacked out. I'm not really sure, maybe 30 or 45 minutes. My body betrays itself for the second time when I have to enter the bathroom and have explosive diarrhea. So I'm in there feeling terrible, but then I hear some familiar voices outside. It's my wife Elise and my friend Kate. And I'm like, guys, I'm in here, I feel terrible. So I clean myself up, and I go back outside, and Kate immediately is like, oh man, you don't look good. I'm gonna go get some juice. So Kate leaves, okay? Enter nice young man who's a park ranger at some other park, and he's like, hey man, I got my backpack here with all this medical stuff in it. You want me to check you out? And I'm like, okay, that sounds good. So he takes some vitals, blood pressure, and stuff like that, and asks me some questions. The gist of what I'm thinking here is he was just making sure I don't have heat stroke, which could be very bad, which I don't think I had. So at this point, my body betrays itself for the third time. I don't make it to the bathroom for this. I just projectile vomit all over everything, basically, like huge projectile vomit, chunks, everything. So my wife's sitting there, right, and she's like, oh shit, like, I gotta go find help. So she runs down this path to the parking lot. I don't know what's down there, but she's trying to find some help. Apparently there's a bystander that has help's number on speed dial. So they call it, and like 2 to 3 minutes later, this ambulance shows up. And at this point, after expelling everything that I have in my body, I'm actually feeling pretty good until I see my wife come back up from said parking lot with blood all over her face. In the frenzy of her trying to find me help, she ran into a low-hanging tree limb, basically smashed her face, so she's bleeding down her forehead, past her nose, like into her mouth. Luckily though, guess what? The EMTs were already there. So they start taking care of her and getting her cleaned up, right? Enter Kate. You remember Kate went to get the juice. When Kate left, I just wasn't feeling so good. Kate returns, there's a small crowd, an ambulance, EMT working on Elise's bloody face, and vomit everywhere. So Kate's initial reaction here is to laugh and cry at the same time. I don't know how she did it, but then she's like, what happened? And all I see is the juice, right? And I'm like, I don't really have time to tell you what happened. I just want the juice. So I take that, I drink that down. Everyone's pretty much in a good spot at this point, so we go down to the bus. And the bus takes me back. I was feeling good. Once I'm on the bus, I don't feel good anymore. So my wife, Elise, she says, when we get back, we're going to the medical center. So my friend Eric, he mans the RV, drives us over to the medical center. 3 hours, 1 pint of fluid, some forehead glue, and a tetanus shot later, we close the place down and we leave. We drive back to the campsite, I get some dinner, and then basically I just go and pass out because I got to get ready for whatever the next day holds for me. Thank you.